Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to more SHD. Now I have created this YouTube channel to basically give you guys even more football related content. Now as you know, I do have a number of YouTube channels. Now I've got my main channel SHD, which focuses quite a lot on Bradford City. There's quite a lot of League 2 content and some just general football content on there as well. Then I have my SHD game channel, which is for largely gaming, but I don't really do that all too much, to be honest with you. Then we have the SHD Clips channel, which is basically highlights from my Twitch streams, and now we have this YouTube channel, which is basically more SHD. You know, the name is what the name is, and I felt like I've got to a point on SHD where the standard of video is really high, and certain videos and series that I've done previously now probably don't quite cut that quarter, in all honesty. Like the match previews, the 6 things we learn, I enjoy doing them, but you look at the views that they get, you know, sometimes they're getting 300, 400, 500 views, and I'm aiming for a minimum of 1,000 on every single video, and the amount of match previews and 6 things we learn, just as an example, who've really got them sort of views, it doesn't really make it worthwhile to upload onto YouTube. And not to bore you to death, but YouTube's all about, if you make one good video, then your next video is going to do better, and it's all about momentum really. And with match previews and 6 things we learn, I feel like they kind of kill that. With 6 things we learn as well, obviously they uploaded the day after the match day vlogs. That was kind of killing the match day vlogs reach basically, because it'd get to a certain point on the Sunday, I'd put the 6 things we learn out, and then it would basically mean that the match day vlog would then get concise, one of the two, in terms of how much reach it would get. So we're here. Hopefully that's kind of explained it all, but it also means that I can relax a bit more on this channel. I don't need to stress too much about making a 10 out of 10 video. Like stuff like that, I can probably end up leaving in the video and it doesn't really matter all too much. I'm still going to put a lot of effort in to make good quality content, but if there is a mistake or whatever, I'm not going to worry all too much, because at the end of the day, it's a second channel and you might get to know me a little bit more on a more personal level, rather than just me giving you my opinion on football. I'm not really too sure what the plan is for the channel, but there's definitely going to be match previews, 6 things to learn. I wanted to do more general content, like for example, Davies Keeler done. If he signs for Barnsley, I want to give my thoughts and opinions on that. And I can't upload that on SHD because it's going to get 300 views. As much as I've got a decent amount of following from Mansfield fans, it's not going to get the views that I need it to do and all that sort of stuff. So that is basically the general idea as to why this channel is now a thing. I know I've kind of rabbited on there a little bit, and we do have a football match to preview. As you know, football is back. I probably should have done just a separate video explaining, but I was so excited to do this video. I'm always so excited to do my first match preview of the season. Then we get to like the 4th match preview and I'm kind of like, why am I doing these again? They're so annoying to put together, because I spend a lot of time on match previews. Last season, I think you've spent 3 or 4 hours on a match preview, which for editing is a long time for it then to return 400 or 500 views. And yeah, whilst obviously that's not me trying to criticise the support, you know, I massively appreciate every single person who watches the video. It just wasn't really worth it for a main channel video. So if I can spend less time editing, put it on this channel, and it gets a similar amount of views, then obviously we are all very happy then at the end of the day, and I've got more time to spend on the main channel. But this channel starting, again, similar to the channel membership and all that sort of stuff, it doesn't mean the content on there is going to be less. It just means I've got more time then to spend on better quality videos on the main channel. Like the match day vlogs, I'm seeing quite a lot of comments on there about how much you're enjoying the improvement on them. We've been going for nearly 5 minutes now. We've not even spoke about the football match at the weekend. Should we just not even bother, to be honest with you? I think we probably should. Let's get into it. So, as much as a lot of people will tell you that it means nothing, pre-season for Bradford City was poor, to say the least. We had a 2-0 defeat away at Chorley, who are in the National League North, a 2-1 defeat away at Guiseley, who were a step below that. Then our friendly against Scunthorpe got cancelled, so that's why we ended up actually playing against Guiseley. We travelled to Austria to play SV Reed's reserve side and just about managed to scrape a 2-1 win there, with Andy Cook and Verdane Oliver finding themselves on the score sheet. Then we had a brilliant 2-1 win at home to Sunderland at Valley Parade, our only home fixture throughout pre-season, with Andy Cook and Callum Kavanagh both finding themselves on the score sheet, and Romain Mundell pulling a goal back for the Black Cats, but it wasn't quite enough for them to get back into the match. We ended pre-season with a very boring 0-0 draw away at Altrincham. Yes, they're a decent side, but we never really liked scoring in the game until maybe the last 15 minutes when the likes of Jake Young, Callum Kavanagh, etc. came onto the pitch. In terms of MK Dons pre-season, again, theirs wasn't really much better than ours. In all honesty, they had a 2-1 defeat at home to Barnet, a 1-0 win away at Chelmsford City, a 3-1 win away at Wealdstone, a 1-1 draw at home to Portsmouth, and a 1-0 defeat at home to Plymouth Argyle. But like I've mentioned many times before, pre-season doesn't really matter all too much. What the main point of today's video is to talk about what the starting 11 should be on Saturday, in my personal opinion. Now, for anyone who's wondering where are the League 2 score predictions, they will not be in match previews. They're going to be a separate video for the main channel only. It will probably come out on Thursdays. This week, though, it'll be Friday, just because the League 2 predictions are coming out today, if that makes sense. Now, through the power of editing, we're now going to have a lovely little graphic on either side of me. I've not really decided yet, in all honesty, but it was quite hard to put together because certain players have not had their new updated pictures. Some of the pictures are blurry as well. The likes of Kevin McDonald and Bobby Poynton, they haven't taken their new pictures. McDonald probably understandable, as the club seem to be trying to force him out the door for some reason. The treatment of McDonald from the outside looking in looks absolutely disgusting, but obviously we don't know what's going on behind closed doors, and I'm going to assume Bobby Poynton just wasn't there. Maybe his hair was out of place or something. I'm not really too sure, but the formation is going to be the 3-1-4-2. You got the 3 centre-backs, your holding midfielder, your 2 wing-backs, your 2 number 8s, number 10s type players, and also your 2 strikers. In goal, obviously, it is going to be Sam Walker. Zach Cady, I believe, is injured. I don't know, though, off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure that he is, but Alexander's not really come out and spoke about him all too much. Colin Doyle, we still have no idea if he is actually a first-team player, or if he's still the goalkeeper coach, or if he's doing both. We don't really know what's going on there. The club have given us no communication on that, so Sam Walker probably is our only fit and available public goalkeeper who is available for selection, and even if the others were available, it is always going to be Sam Walker. I think in pre-season, he's been pretty good, in all honesty. I've made some really good saves against Sunderland off the top of my head. Apart from that, in a lot of the other games, I don't think he could have done much about the goals that we've conceded, and Sam Walker, for me, one of the best goalkeepers in the division going into this season. At right centre-back, I've gone with Aidan Baldwin. Obviously, there is no Callum Johnson available for this one. He is back in full training, but Graham Alexander has said that he won't be available for at least this game as he looks to build up his match fitness, because obviously he did absolutely no pre-season, which is a big loss for Callum Johnson, because it's going to take him now at least a month, maybe even 6 weeks to get up to full match speed. But I think with game time and all that sort of stuff, you can probably get him up to full speed by probably just after the Bromley game, all being well. And in terms of Aidan Baldwin himself, obviously he missed the first couple of games of pre-season, but I think on the whole has looked quite solid. I didn't watch him in the match against SV Reed in Austria, but against Sunderland I thought he was okay for the first 60 minutes. I'm pretty sure he played 90 minutes against Altrincham. No real clangers so far, nothing really too stand out defensively, but for me personally, Aidan Baldwin should start at right centre-back. In the middle, I've gone with Kieran Kelly. I think for me personally, out of the centre-backs that I've seen play, I'd like to see Kelly start in the middle. Yes, he's left-footed and he has played quite a lot as the left centre-back, but for me personally, I think he's been much better than Sam Stubbs throughout pre-season, and also a lot better than Neil Byrne. I've been less than impressed with them two so far, and I'd like to see Kieran Kelly get the nod. Do I think that's likely? Probably not. Neil Byrne will probably get the start, but I'm going Kieran Kelly in there. It's my team, and that is what I would personally pick. So at left centre-back, I would go with Jack Shepherd. Now, you look at that back three, obviously, they played quite a lot at the weekend against Altrincham, and based on what I've seen in pre-season, I think this is our best back three on paper going into this game against MK Dons. They don't really have a big physical striker. Ellis Harrison can put himself about a bit, but they're certainly going to use their big pitch to try and get him behind us. So we need the pace of Baldwin and Shepherd, and obviously Kelly fought the physicality as well. I like what I saw in the half an hour cameo that we saw of Shepherd, and we've brought him in to play. Barnsley have not sent him to us for him to sit on the bench, so I do expect him to start in this one against MK Dons. As my holding midfielder and captain, I've obviously gone with Richie Smallwood. He's been brilliant under Graham Alexander for 95% of the time, and I know there's still some people who don't like Smallwood. Me personally, I am a big fan of him, especially under Graham Alexander. This system gets the best out of him, and I think if we are to win these type of matches, then Richie Smallwood is going to need to be in there. At right wing back, I've gone with Brad Halliday. No real question marks over this one. Alex Gilliard has kind of competed for that position throughout pre-season, but it's not his natural position, and I think on the whole, if you got to pick between Brad Halliday or Alex Gilliard to play right wing back, we saw why you don't play Gilliard there in a league match against Mansfield. We lost 5-1 the last time that we tried to do that. So Brad Halliday for me, again, not really stood out too much in pre-season, but last year was absolutely brilliant, so he definitely has to start. In terms of the two central midfielders, at first I've gone with Alex Patterson. I think based on pre-season, he's the first name on the team sheet. Now I know there's other positions where, because we've not got the competition, like holding midfielder for example, Smallwood obviously has to play, but based on who's impressed me the most out pre-season, it's Alex Patterson. Every single game I've watched, he's massively stood out. He's scored a goal or two, got a couple of assists. I think he's been absolutely excellent. His energy in the midfield is brilliant to see, and I nearly, probably pre-season, pre-season, I would have gone with Alex Gilead in there for a game like MK Dons, be a bit more defensive, more energy, but Patterson has massively stood out for me, so he definitely starts in this one. And partnering him, I've gone with Anthony Sarcevic. Again, if it's between Sarcevic and Walker, I've seen more out of Sarcevic. I thought he was brilliant in the match against Sunderland, where I think in a few matches, to be fair, Jamie Walker has actually been quite poor, especially in that match against Chorley. I thought he massively failed to contribute in the match. Geisley, don't think he was really too impressive in my personal opinion. Sunderland, I can't really remember much that he did. I thought against Altrincham he was actually quite poor, and I don't see the likes of Gilead, Poynton, Adol getting the nod over them three. So for me personally, on the opening day against MK Dons, to go Patterson and Sarcevic in front of Richie Smallwood. And at left wing back, I've gone with Lewis Richards. I don't want to see Tyreek Wright play there, and definitely not against MK Dons. Wright has been torn apart in pre-season by, for the large part, teams who are playing in non-league. So to see him then play up against the potential league favourites on Saturday will be an absolute nightmare. He simply cannot defend, and Richards has to start. Yes, Richards is only a 7 out of 10. He's not a world beater, but he's much better than Tyreek Wright. I think the Wright that we've seen in pre-season is the same Wright we saw last campaign, where he looks lazy, lethargic, not really too interested. And Lewis Richards, for me, on the whole, has had some pretty impressive and solid performances in pre-season, whether playing as a left centre-back or as a left wing-back. So for me personally, I'll go with Lewis Richards in that position. As the two strikers then, firstly, obviously, Andy Cook. Again, he's one of the first names on the team sheet. He's come back this pre-season, and again, he's looking sharp, he's looking lean, and he's going to score at least 25 league goals this season. If he stays fit for the full campaign, starts 46 league games, I'll be very surprised if he doesn't end the season with minimum 25 league goals. He's going to be very key for us, and I think, again, out of the competition for that position, yes, we've got 6 strikers. Andy Cook, though, is nailed on to start at the weekend against MK Dons, and I think he'll probably be in a good contention for the Golden Boot this campaign, with no Paul Mullin, Macaulay Langstaff, them type of players. And partnering him, I've gone with Callum Kavanagh. I think this is a position and a player that a lot of people expect Callum Kavanagh to start in. Harry Ibbotson, for example, no minutes throughout pre-season. Viden Oliver, very similar to Andy Cook, and hasn't really impressed, in all honesty. Tyler Smith, again, the same can be said about him, far too weak. Jake Young, while his minutes were limited in the last 2 games, we know about the transfer speculation. It's been announced publicly by Graham Alexander that there has been some inquiries from, I think it was Stevenage and Crawley was the reported clubs. And again, I won't say Young's massively shone in pre-season, but we definitely need to keep hold of him. We don't need to be selling at this stage, not when there's a couple of days to go until the transfer window, not until the transfer window, until the season officially starts. We don't need to be faffing around getting rid of a proven goal scorer. We saw what he did last season with Swindon. And Callum Kavanagh, for me, again, missed the first couple of games of pre-season, but in the matches he has played, he's impressed me. And it always does surprise me that for a player who's not the tallest, he wins quite a lot in the air. He always works hard. Yes, at times he doesn't quite have the finish, but I think he's only 21. He's a very young player, sorry. Too many youngs and ones and all that sort of stuff. And Callum Kavanagh, for me, scored a great goal against Sunderland, and I think his link-up play with Cook last season when he signed in January, I think that's starting to develop as well over last campaign, so they've got that going in at 2 this season. So there is my starting 11. Let me know down in the comment section down below. Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? On the bench then for me, that'd leave Colin Doyle, Neil Byrne, Sam Stubbs, Alex Gilead, Bobby Poynton, Jamie Walker and Jake Young. The player currently unavailable is Callum Johnson, but he is back in full training. So the players who miss out then through selection would be Zach Hady, Kevin McDonald, but I don't think we'll see him play in a Bradford City shirt again, Gabe Wadsworth, Clark Adore, Tyreek Wright, Adam Wilson, Tyler Smith, Harry Ibbotson and also Viden Oliver. So there we have it then. There is my MK Dons versus Bradford City match preview. If you want to know my score prediction, make sure to head over to the main channel tomorrow at 4 o'clock, all being well, to go check them ones out. But thank you all very much for watching today's video. Please make sure to drop a like on there for me. I forgot to say that at the start of today's video. Make sure you like and comment. That really does help out for the algorithm and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, lots of content planned to be on this channel this season, so make sure to stay tuned for that, and hopefully it's a little bit more relaxed and chilled, all that sort of stuff. Thank you all for the support as always though. Have a good rest of your day. I'll see you very soon for another one. Peace.